So, I just finished running my first ever marathon, and honestly, I feel a little bit different than I was expecting. I did a lot of stuff right, and I did a lot of stuff wrong. Um, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to share the lessons that I learned along the way, um, and kind of give you my perspective of how I started, how things kind of developed, and then how things ended up. So, just for context, and just as a disclaimer as well, I am not an elite athlete. I am not a coach. I'm not a professional. I'm not an expert by any means. But everything that I am saying, it is coming from my own personal experience. And again, just for context, I started out like over this last year, I went from like 205 pounds, give or take, all the way down to 145 pounds. That's a different like weight loss journey in itself. But for the running aspect of it, I really like dove head in. I set a goal for myself. I set multiple goals to complete Spartan races along the way, and I completed all of them. Um, I I think I had a really good attitude about it, and I was really excited about all of these things. But it was hard. It's not something that you can just decide one day and then just go do it. So I do want to give you my lessons that I learned, and hopefully this will kind of give you an idea as well, and hopefully motivate you to try to do something a little hard as well. I do want to also say really quickly, like these are going to be broad brush strokes. These are not going to be the finer details on how to be structuring your plan or anything like that. These are just things to keep in mind, especially for beginners or people who are just getting started, because I do think they're pretty valuable. But yeah, I do have a list of notes here, so we'll kind of go off of this a little bit. But lesson one, be a student. When I say be a student, I mean just kind of be in a learner's mindset. Um, be willing to take in information from all different types of sources. If you're like me, I learn a lot of stuff by watching YouTube videos or by listening to podcasts. What I would say is find YouTubers who talk about whatever your goal is. I'm going to talk about the perspective of marathon training, but this could apply to pretty much any goal that you have. Say your goal is just to run a 5K or to do an Ironman. Who knows what your goal is, but for me, what I would say is try to find YouTubers or people who make videos or experts in the field that you can listen to. The main thing is like things are always changing. No one knows everything, and you should definitely not assume that you know everything about it. Also, when you surround yourself with this information, it helps you become like a pseudo expert. I know a lot more than I give myself credit for, but that's just my nature as a person. I like to downplay what I know. I don't like to really say a lot of stuff because I could be wrong. Who knows? But just be a student. Like it's okay to just know that you don't know everything, right? Um, Try to be curious, ask a lot of questions. Whenever you have conversations with people, just talk about whatever it is that you're interested at the time. Really pick a goal and take an interest in it because that's going to help carry you through. Um, the key thing here is do not stress trying to do everything perfectly. Just be willing to take in knowledge and grow your knowledge over time. Um, yeah. Lesson number two, take your time to structure your plan. This this will go a long way. So for a plan, I think kind of slowing down a little bit and taking your time to build a realistic plan it's huge, because it takes a lot of the guesswork out for you. Like you don't have to worry about like what do I have to do tomorrow, what can I eat, what can't I eat. You're really laying down the ground rules for what it is that you need to do to reach your goal, right? You're basically laying down a plan, and then all you have to do is execute from there. So really think about, what is your timeline? How long is this going to take? Maybe how many workouts do I have to do a week? How does my plan build from the early stages all the way to later, right? You want to make sure that this is something that you can sustain. Make sure that this is a sustainable plan, because a lot of people will go in and they'll go guns blazing, and it's not sustainable. Kind of like New Year's resolutions. Like a lot of people will say like, "Oh, I'm gonna stop doing this," or "I'm gonna start doing this," but then by the end of the month, it's over. They stop doing it. So make sure that this is something that you can ease into, but it takes a lot of guesswork out. I will make one main suggestion. Just talk to just talk to ChatGPT. Be honest with it. Just say like, this is how much I weigh. This is my plan. This is the timeline. Give it as much information as you possibly can, and it can give you a basic structure. But along the way, you can feed it the information like, this is how my run went. This is the actual time that I got, and maybe you went faster, maybe you went slower, but it can adjust with you and grow with you. So that's 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 really my main thing. So again, structure a plan so that way you take a lot of the stress and the guesswork out of it for you. Lesson number 3: consistency and discipline beats motivation. This is going to be a quick one because I feel like a lot of people already know this, but this is what I really learned about myself along the way. Was a lot of times I did not have the motivation, but I knew that it was something that I had to do, so I became disciplined enough to keep showing up every single day. This kind of goes hand in hand with the previous point, which was to structure your plan, because I knew what I had to do. All I had to do was show up and be disciplined enough to do it. So again, motivation kind of fades. Discipline really carries you through. Average boring days, they really do add up. So the bulk of what your actual journey is going to be in these boring disciplined days. I'll be honest, just skipping ahead, I grew the most throughout the process from being disciplined. My discipline is what I'm most proud of, and what I'm happiest to say like, I was able to do this. I'm not happiest to say like I was able to run a marathon. I'm more happy to say like I took, I don't know how many months it took, like 4 or 5 months of just pure discipline, always showing up, and now I can run a marathon at a pace that I'm really proud of. By the way, I didn't say this, but it was like 3 hours and 30 minutes. Not super fast, but it was fast enough for me. So again, most of your training won't be epic. It's just consistent. Lesson number 4: it is okay to be obsessed. I'm gonna say something that actually completely contradicts what I'm gonna say here, but I'll get to that. It's okay to be obsessed. This actually really goes hand in hand with discipline. So let's say that there's a party or there's something going on, but you know that you have to work out. I'll say this: for the early days, it's easier to say no to distractions and to be completely locked in on your goal. It is okay to be like that, especially early on. If you don't have the discipline yet to say no to distractions, like say you're going out and people are like, "Oh, let's drink, let's take a shot," but in the back of your mind, you're like, "Man, this is gonna feel bad for me in the morning. How am I gonna train?" And then you end up making an excuse the next day where it's like, "Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow." It's like, no, you have to have the discipline to not do that. If you don't have that discipline yet, it's okay to say no to some things, to be like, "No, I can't tonight. I have to run in the morning. I have this or I have that." And people might clown on you. People might say like, "Ah, bro, come on, man. Like, don't be lame." Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Like, To other people it may look like too much, um, but for you, if it means a lot to you, you'll do what you have to do. So it's okay to say no. Um, that's lesson 4. Lesson 5, again, completely contradicts this. Um, the lesson's actually a quote from some bodybuilder that I really like, but this is just the cherry on top, right? If you look at your life as like a cake or a slice of cake or something like that, right? It is your friends, your family, the events that you attend, how you show up for other people, your interactions with anyone out in the world, right? That's the cake. That's the meat of everything that really matters. The cherry on top is the stuff that matters to you, your goals, the things that you think are important, right? This is just the cherry on top. This isn't the end all be all. This is not the end goal of your life, right? Um, this goal is not your whole life. So what I say by this is be present in your friends and your family's life, right? This would be more once you've already built up some discipline and you kind of know what your bare minimums are, what you have to do every single day. If you have the discipline to say no to stuff, like for me when I was dieting, it was really hard to see friends and family because they would offer me a lot of food all the time, and I would get annoyed because like I say no, and I've told you no so many times, but you keep offering me this stuff. Like I don't want to show up to these things because it's too much temptation. It's too much like I want to say yes, yeah, obviously, nice things are really nice, but you have to be disciplined and go through some suffering to build yourself up to be like a better person. I don't actually mean like better, just to be a person, to get to where you want to be, to get to the goal. Um, but yeah, that's kind of all I'm saying is like have balance in your life. You can be unbalanced at first, but you have to bring that back eventually, right? Like this is the cherry on top. You can be focused, you can be super ultra fixated on it, but like don't forsake everything else. Don't just give everything else up because your life matters and this is not your whole life. Unless like you're a super ultra athlete, then you shouldn't be watching this. But yeah, actually, I think those are kind of the only lessons I really wanted to share. Um, Lesson number 6, though, the last one is it might change your life. It might not. Um, when I say it, I mean your goal. Accomplishing the marathon, I felt like I would be on top of the world, like, oh my God, this is it. But I always had in the back of my mind, I knew that it wasn't going to be like that because I had the multiple Spartan races along the way. I had the half marathon along the way. Every time that I completed those, I knew that it was just another stepping stone to the next thing. And it's not that I was never satisfied, it's just that I knew that the training was so much harder and I put so much effort and time into this that it was almost an inevitability. I knew that I was going to accomplish this. The thing was, what was the next thing, right? It's just another stepping stone. And same thing, this is your whole life. It's not the end all be all. What's the next thing that you want to accomplish in life? So you could have some magical miracle moment coming to God where it's like, oh my God, I did it. But I think if you're like me and you've been putting a lot of effort and training into it, it's it's just another day at the office. It's something. It's beautiful. It's wonderful to accomplish your goals. But like, look towards the future. What's next? Where are you gonna go eat with your friends and family? How are you gonna spend that time? Like, man, just doing the thing is wonderful, but being able to share it with other people, it's even better. Um, but again, growth really does happen in the process. My growth is that my discipline, I'm a lot more disciplined than I was before. I know my bare minimums. I know what I have to do. I know what I have to say no to. It's okay to say no to people sometimes, right? Like I know who I am. I know what I want to accomplish, and that means a lot more to me. Um, so, just like some final takeaways. This journey taught me that you do not need to be special. You just need to be consistent and show up every single day. Have your goal, have a plan, stay really, really locked in, surround yourself with the knowledge, and then along the way, then you can kind of sprinkle in a little bit of moderation for other things, right? Um, Adjust as you go, right? You're gonna want to make adjustments along the way. Like some days you might not feel so good, some days you might be sick, something like that. You might be injured. Try to get a good feel for like your rest days and stuff like that. Um, but hard things really do change you, and you should commit to the process. If it's something that you think is worthwhile, or if it's something that you think is going to be good for you, do whatever it takes to stay true to it. Um, this is just like a side question. What are some hard things for you? What's a goal that you've set before, or what are some lessons that you've learned? It could be anything. It could be like maybe you had a child. What's the greatest lesson you learned from that? Man, my mind just went dark. Or what? What if someone passed away? What was your greatest lesson from that? Um, any lesson, I'd like to hear from you. But again, these are broad brushstrokes. I'm planning on making something a little bit more detailed because I am very meticulous when it comes to training. Like how I actually did this was a lot of work. It was a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of dedication. So I want to get a little bit more into that. But for now, I did just want to share this with you. These are my lessons, and then I feel like this is kind of a good time as well. We're still in the beginning of February ish. Um, so maybe if you had a goal that you had set your mind to, that might have fallen off. Hopefully this helps you push through that and start to commit to that again. But also, yeah, if you want to share what your goal is for 2026. Mine is to run an Ironman. I have another marathon in May. So again, stepping stones. I know that I have little goals along the way, but like it's the training in between that helps us grow, and then the time that we enjoy with our friends and family, and just be kind to everyone, honestly. With that being said, that's pretty much everything that I had for today. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.